going on, New York Giants fans? Welcome back to another video. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, turn that notification button so you get notified of when a live stream pops, video drops. It's about 2:15 in the morning on Thursday, the day of the Hall of Fame game, which we will be streaming, doing play-by-play, all sorts of fun stuff. But we have to get to some Giants topics first. Two players retired. We'll talk about that. But I also want to talk about the fight first because I know I really haven't discussed it. The fight, the brawl, whatever you want to call it. Teams fight, teams brawl. There's not really much to discuss on that. People are attacking Logan Ryan's leadership. I mean, that's just clickbait articles for you. People try to make up these rumors and in the preseason, and they're just trying to get content out there, and they want clicks. I think Daryl Slater was one of the guys that put out there, well, Logan Ryan needs to show more leadership, or at least show a better example than he did in that post-Brawl press conference. Like, you know what, dude? At least say something smart about the fight, or I don't know. But it's just, that's clickbait content. But once again, a lot of people don't call it out because, it hurts them. It hurts their narrative, whatever. So, as far as the brawl goes, things happen, but, as Logan Ryan said, this team is tired of losing. This team is tired of losing. The fan base is tired of losing. So they're getting really testy with each other on the practice field. But obviously that doesn't translate into the game. Logan Ryan and Evan Ingram are very close. So, it's not like, they're not buddies. They're going to fight. Oh, no. They're buddies, and, they're close. So it's not like, this is going to stretch it. They're mature men. This ain't some school fight with like 12, 13-year-old teenagers where it's a fight and nobody talks to each other for about a week. That's not what it was. These guys are grown men, especially the veterans on this team like Logan Ryan. But what did come to my surprise in two separate events is that two players on the Giants retired. One was on Wednesday, one was, I believe, on Tuesday. On Tuesday was Todd Davis, Joe Looney Wednesday. And I said on Twitter, I'm very honest and I'm very positive about the Giants and stuff like that. But I find it kind of strange. It's not something to hold your breath on or something like that. But, I just find it a little weird that two guys retire, within a span of 2 to 3 days. Could their body not take the conditioning? Was Joe Judge being too hard on them? This is the stuff we're not going to find out till like the bad shit comes out or someone says something or whatever. If the Giants go on to win a Super Bowl of some sorts or with Joe Judge or whatever, it's never going to come out. But in my personal opinion, let's just say Joe Judge, I'm not calling for this, but let's just say Joe Judge happens to be a Matt Patricia or one of those other guys like Bill O'Brien, then that's going to come out, and Joe Looney will say, well, I retired because Joe Judge's conditioning drill. But, we didn't see this last year. So it's obviously has to do with something in terms of Todd Davis and Joe Looney. But just some stats before we end this video. It's supposed to be a really short video. With that being said, Joe Looney last year in 490 pass blocking snaps gave up 3 sacks and 16 pressures. He started 12 games and a total of 764 snaps. He's been in the NFL since 2012 with the San Francisco 49ers. 2015 he signed with Tennessee. 2016 he signed with Dallas. He started center. I would say a good portion of the year. Him and Tyler Bidish kind of split it. The year before was one start, I think, at center. And then the year before that, in 2018, he started all the games because Travis Frederick had that Guillain-Barré disease or something like that. I think he's still suffering from it. If he isn't, shout-outs to him. But either way, hope he's doing well. Obviously, you don't wish bad health on a rival player. You don't do that. But he played 67% of the snaps last year, about 9% of the snaps in 2019, And then the year before that, 100%. So obviously he was utilizing a big role. He wasn't, oh my God, he was going to start at center for the New York Giants. What was going to happen was he was going to come in and compete because Jason Garrett knew him, and it's all about familiarity. That's how you get jobs in the NFL. It's either talent or familiarity. It could be both, honestly, on occasion. But he was a backup. He was not starting for the Giants. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, was this going to push Nick Gates to guard?" Honestly, I would kind of be surprised if that happened because Nick Gates is already at center, and don't be shifting people left and right. Will Hernandez is a totally different story because Lemieux and Thomas have a chemistry, but don't be shifting people left, right, and center. We don't want to do that because you're never going to find your good starting five in their positions. But in terms of Todd Davis, since 2014, he was in the NFL. He started out with New Orleans, then went to Denver. Then in 2020, went to Minnesota for a year. Has a total of 505 tackles in his career, total of 3 sacks, quarterback hits 12, interceptions. Take a look at that. He only has 1 interception in his career, total of 15 pass deflections, and total of 96 games. And 69 of them started in his career, but the last couple of years, he's been more of a tackling linebacker than he was, a cover linebacker. It's kind of like a Martinez. I know last year he was on the COVID list and a couple other issues with the Minnesota Vikings. But that defense was bad. I mean, we can't necessarily say, oh, he was good, he was bad, is this, that, and the other thing. The people who do film obviously can break him down, but I don't know if there's a point now because he retired. So it's just a little fishy to me. I'm not going to throw blame at anybody, but I think it's just a little weird that 2 players retire in 2 days. So, with that being said, guys, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notification button so you get notified when live stream pops video drops. Should have a load of videos out. Join us for the Hall of Fame game. It's going to be a fun one, doing play-by-play, stuff like that. So, peace out, guys. See you later, and stay cool.